Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me Isabel here with my Kindle Unlimited Check In. It's been a while, like I don't think I did one of these in March, unfortunately. But I still have a ton of books checked out, I still have a ton of books I read, and I'm excited to talk about them. So first up, I will have timestamps down below if you want to skip to certain parts of the video. All right, we're gonna talk about what I have checked out from newest to oldest this time. And some of these I literally just checked out because I just read a bunch. So first up we have Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I had this ranked on TikTok as like a really good read. It's very long, so I do not know how soon I will get to it, but I have enjoyed other Megan Brandy books. I don't know a ton about it. I saw like 2 or 3 TikToks in a row wrecking it and hyping it up, and I am a sucker for this trope personally. Yeah, so it's a brother's best friend broke her heart, and then his new teammate wants to fix her. And that just, to me, sounds like a good time. I think we're gonna have some interesting rivalry things happening in this. And Megan Brandy writes really digestible books, though they may be long sometimes, I feel like. So I'm very curious to see what I think. Then I have Love and Monsters by Raven Flanagan. This is about a girl that gets sent to a dungeon and this monster has a craving for blood. So, listen, we all know here that I am trash for my monster romances, and I absolutely need to read this immediately, and it's very high on my like read soon from KU list. Then I checked out Set Up for Love by B Love. This was recommended to me from Heather over at Booktubes for the Dark Romance Readathon. I didn't get to it on my spinner wheel, unfortunately, but it is on my sooner than later list, so I'm very excited to check that out, probably by the next one you see. Then I have, again, a marriage redemption novel by J.L. Seegers. She's on TikTok, I follow her. She's a really cute author, she's new. She has one really long book that's out that I want to read, but I thought I would try her novella before diving into a longer length book from her, because I figured worst case, if I don't like it, it's not the end of the world. And I didn't spend 500 pages in it. So far, I have started this one, and I will say I'm very intrigued by it. This is like they're on a trip to a wedding, where they're both the maid of honor and the best man, and we're following that whole situation. And I gotta say, tension is way up here, and I'm really loving the tension of this already and the interactions they're having. Then we have Her Villains, a fantasy reverse harem novel. When you see this will be in a vlog in like a week, so I'm not gonna tell you a lot about it, but there's a reason I picked it up, and you will see that vlog literally a week from this coming Thursday if you're watching this on the day it comes out. So May 5th, you will see this in a vlog. I'm not gonna tell you anymore. Then we have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is part of the Dreamland Billionaires books. The second book was going around TikTok a bunch, and some people I know read it and liked it, so I thought, yes, I will add this to my TBR. So I checked out book 1. And I'm planning to read it hopefully sooner than later. I've just not been in a billionaires mood, to be honest, but I'm also kind of in a billionaires mood. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, I just need to get to the point where I'm like, yes, I want Take Me Away billionaire fantasy contemporary. Then I have Big Feels, a monster romance anthology, which like, I started to read the first story in this and I haven't come back to it, and I need to read it. It's just like, I'm terrible at reading anthologies. I buy them and I get them to support like charity things, and then I just never read them. But if there's a story in this anthology you think I should prioritize, let me know and I will do so. But also, you know, I'll get to it eventually, maybe one day. Then we have Born Madly by Trisha Wolfe. This is one of those ones that also I honestly am needing to just read and be done with this duology, because I really like this and I want to read more from Trisha Wolfe, but I never finished the Darkly Madly duet because my brain. It's fine. And I really would like to get to it sooner than later. Then we have Queen of Madness, which is volume. This is book 1 in the Wonderland duet by Lee Jacott. I read another book by her that we'll talk about soon, and I really, really loved. So I wanted to make sure that I checked this out and read it sooner than later, because the final book comes out today, the day this video goes up, in this duet. So I'd like to read this. It just sounds really fun to me. It's a mafia not reverse harem, it's a mafia fantasy romance situation, kind of based loosely on Alice in Wonderland somehow. I'm assuming it's similar to Katie Roberts' Wicked Villains or something like that, and you listen, it doesn't take a lot for me. If it's like fairy tale kids books retellings into dirty smutty books, end there. Next we have Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton, which I'm still reading. I am 30% through this right now, and I probably will finish it because I do want to dissect some of the stuff in it. But I did talk about it in my Dark Romance readathon vlog, and yeah, I'm having some issues, but I'm still like kind of curious enough to keep reading it. I also have The Worst Guy by Kate Canterbury. This is a enemies to lovers romance. There's a lot of hate fucking in this is my understanding, and I need to read it. I need to get it, but again, not been in a contemporary mood, like for just regular contemporary, so. I also have the Heroes and Villains Phase 1 box set, which I read Origin out of, and we'll talk about that later. I have Romancing the Stone by Jessica Haynes. This looks like a gargoyle romance. This is part of the second batch of monster anthology books, which I've had checked out forever and I just need to read and do a video on. Again, the mood reading right now has been out of control. Bees and Honey, which is a swamp monster love story by Victoria Wayland. Whisper in the Woods, which is a shifter romance by Casey Carmine. Fear by Catherine Ann Kingsley. I think this one's like a monster, like nighttime monster romance. Then we have The Tyrant Alpha's Rejected Mate by Kate C. Wells, which I really need to read. The sequel just came out, and I know that I'm going to love it because it's Kate C. Wells, and I love Kate C. Wells, so I just need to do it. But I'm in this weird thing of like savoring her books, but also wanting to marathon her books. I don't know if anybody else is like this, where you're like, I love this author, I don't want to run out of stuff, but part of me also wants to run out of her stuff, so yeah. Then I have Trophy of the Dragon, an Earthbound alien romance by Callista Sky. I don't know why I have this. Somebody must have recommended it to me. So, you know, maybe I just need to read it. I also have Strange Visits by Kat Turner, another monster romance anthology cancellation book. And that's it. That's everything I currently have checked out. I did return quite a bit since the last Kindle update, so I will link to that one down below if you're curious. But yeah, I'm just kind of like shuffling through books a lot right now, and that's okay. It happens. I have read 12 books from KU currently though, so like I feel like I'm doing okay in the shuffle. Let's jump right into all the books on KU that I've read. First up, in the Kindle Unlimited books I've read in the last 2-ish months. I literally don't remember when I did the last one of these, and I was like, crap, I missed it in March. First up, we have Pair of Fools by Lillian Lark. I loved this book. I gave it 4 stars. This one is a enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers kind of romance situation. So this is Sophie and Mace's story. Mace is like a demon situation. He has to bond to somebody to be able to teleport and do stuff. So him and Sophie end up agreeing, like Sophie ends up agreeing to it because she needs his help for some things. And it's just like their adventure throughout, and it follows the story a little bit in 3 of Hearts and Stalked by the Kraken. So we kind of get to see other pieces of the story that happened in those books during this book, which I really did like. And I just think it was just it was a fun time still. Like I gave it 4 stars. I still enjoyed myself by all means. Like by no means am I like, this is a bad book, because it's not. It's a great book. I had a blast reading it. It just wasn't as strong as the other Lillian Lark books I've read. But I'm still excited to see the final of the Harpies find their match, because I just need it in my life. And we kind of get more of that also previewed, and I'm just excited. I really like these Harpy sisters. They're really fun, and I really love the world building with this and how interconnected it is, but you can also go in without having all the knowledge of the interconnectedness. Next, I read Stiff by Stephanie Nicole Norris. This book features Black love and is really, really good. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think it was a really good concept. It just took too long for the deception to be foiled. So this follows Asia, who is going to a club where you are anonymous and you have a fake name, and she has a night with a man who she doesn't think she knows, but turns out she did know when she was younger. And it's all anonymous, and like they go and have these like really hot nights of sex, and like it's really steamy. But then he finds her in real life and kind of starts pursuing her. There we go. He starts pursuing her a little bit in real life. And it just took a little bit too long for me for that deception to be unveiled, but I still really, really like this. This is a really hot book, and I would like to read the rest in this series, which is called Heavy on the D, and these books are heavy on the D. But overall, it was a good time still, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's a really fun novella to dive into. Then, I feel like this is the next book is one that I've not shut up about since I read it, so here we are. It is The Never King by Nikki St. Crow. The sequel comes out today when you're watching this video. If you haven't read The Never King, check it out. There's also readings for tonight over on Megan at This Past Romance channel where we're reading this book. But The Never King is a Peter Pan retelling situation about Peter Pan kidnapping the Darling women at their 18th birthday every year, trying to get something back. His shadow. His shadow has been lost and he cannot find it. And book one, we follow him kidnapping Winnie, who's like the 3rd or 4th generation to get kidnapped. And she just kind of doesn't care in the best way. And the kidnapping ends up, the women come back like kind of having lost their mind in some way because of something that happens. I don't want to tell you what. But we have the Lost Boys. It is a reverse harem. We have just a lot happening in the best way in this book. If you like your dark romance and fairy tale retellings, The Never King is for you. I gave it 5 stars. It probably will be in my favorites of the year list. We'll see. I'm waiting for the series to finish before I make a decision, but there's that. Then we get into all of my Leprechaun readings. So if you're new here or you missed it, I did a vlog in March on St. Patrick's Day where I read a bunch of Leprechaun romances, a lot of which were on KU, thank goodness. And a lot of them were not good. So we started with Leprechaun Luck by Krista Fox. I gave this 3 stars. This is an extremely short novella in which a girl has a magic item that belongs to the leprechauns and she goes to their club magic show thing that they do, and they realize she has this like energy to her and they invite her to stay for the night and he goes home with her, they get married, blah 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 blah. It was so short, like I don't even feel like I'm giving it away. It was so short, like it had no plot. It like attempted to have plot while also not having plot, if that makes any sense. I hope it does, but it was weird. It was not great. I don't recommend it, to be honest. Then I read Maybe One More Time by Christina C. Jones, which is the 3rd and final in her Vegas Nights trilogy. It's 5 stars. I love this trilogy. This is one of my favorite trilogies from Christina C. Jones. This follows a woman in her 40s who ends up hooking up with the leader of the like local biker club. She also works at a place that makes motorcycles, and it was hot. It was great. I loved it. I loved the 40-year-old heroine. I loved their romance. I enjoyed the happy for now at the end. It is not like a full-blown HEA, but I was okay with that. I didn't need that out of them because they were older characters. And in my opinion, like most romances are kind of a happy for now ending. Hence my channel name, because I do believe like, you know, you're gonna have your struggles. But yeah, I absolutely adored this. If you haven't read the Vegas trilogy and you like dark romance, you need to pick these up. These are just a blast overall. Content note, like there are content warnings for the first book for sure. But yeah, these are just really, really fun, quick novellas to read. Then I read Shamrocked by Jolie Supercart, where I'm still debating if I'm gonna continue this series or not. I'm like 50-50 on it. I might wait until I don't know if the 3rd one's out yet, but I might wait until I know that one's out. So I did give this 4 stars. I do think it was the better of the Leprechaun books I read. This is a reverse harem with some gargoyles and a leprechaun, basically. It's banana pants, it's bonkers, it is over the top, just like most Jolie Supercart books are. So the problem is I loved the Vampire Queen series, what I've read of it, so this just didn't hold up to that series for me, but that didn't mean it was like terrible. It was like 3.5. Like, I'm kind of just, again, right in the middle of do I continue it or not position with this one. There's that. Then I also read Stroke of Luck by Nicole Falls. I gave this one 4 stars. And I honestly loved it so much. This was such a fun little novella. I think it was such a good time to read for St. Patrick's Day. It follows a couple that have a chance meeting basically, and then meet up again on St. Patrick's Day. And it was really cute. His name is Lucky, so it just kind of like loosely ties into the theme. You could read this anytime, but it's just a little novelette. It was just adorable, fun time, smutty goodness. Then I read Nickel, which is part of the Steel Bones Motorcycle Club by Kate C. Wells. I gave this 4 stars. My biggest summary of this book is he goes to therapy to fix himself because he realizes he has a problem that is like really romantic to me. I don't know why. I just think I love that for a hero in a book, like that we're like acknowledging like, yeah, this is an issue and we do need to take care of that. I do want to give a quick content note here before I get into this book. This does delve into domestic violence, specifically around our hero's backstory. It is not done to the female main character, but it also does have a big age gap. So she is in her high school years. They don't hook up until she's like in her 20s, but in her high school years, she's like kind of pursuing him because he saved her from like a really bad situation where some people were making fun of her and being really mean at a party. And then she just like continues to crush on him like hardcore. But he like refuses to engage with it or do anything around it because he's like, this is not appropriate, you are too young. I really appreciated that part of this. And he doesn't even talk about her being like attractive in that way until she's grown. So it worked for me in that way. But he is kind of the fixer of the club almost, and like known for going off the rails and like overdoing it when it comes to having punishment to people for things. And he realizes this is a problem and he doesn't want to hurt her. Her name's Story. And he goes to therapy to fix it and become a better person for her. I really think that Casey Wells is writing a really like forward-facing, like progressive motorcycle club that doesn't feel too gross, which is my struggle with all motorcycle club books. And I read, honestly, one of my new favorite fantasy romances is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. This book, if it is on your radar and you have not picked it up yet, I cannot encourage you to enough. I gave it a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is so good. It is such a cute, silly fantasy romance. She literally gets drunk and runs into a demon trying to make her way home, and it turns into them going on an adventure when that is the last thing she ever wanted to do, was go on an adventure across the realm to take out their ruler that turns out to not be what they thought she was. And it's just really good. And there's like, he's like got golden retriever energy, and he just is so cute when he's like, I'm never gonna give you up, I'm sorry, you're stuck with me now, like I'm in love with you. And I just, again, the epitome of romance to me. I just loved it. It was so cute and fun, and it was just quite the little like romp through the world. And I'm really excited for the next book, which is like That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a love potion at a werewolf. I don't know, she just dropped the cover on Twitter and Instagram, and I was just like, I need this immediately. Next, I read Origin by Natasha Lux and Liza Pinn. This is a 3.5. I'm still not positive on my rating for it. This is the first book in the Phase 1 box set, and it's interesting. So this is all inspired by the Marvel universe, and it's their own Marvel-esque universe. Again, it's not a direct copy, but it feels like fan fiction. Let me put it that way, because her name is Scarlet in this book, and our male main character's name is Watcher, and something terrible has happened to him and he's been turned into a robot. And again, it just kind of mirrors the same thing because of course it does. And it's really funny reading it, obviously, and being a big Marvel nerd like I am, and like connecting the dots. It was a blast and it was weird. Like, that's all I got. I'm really curious to continue, but so far I'm just having fun with them because I just feel like weird fan fiction. And I know the next book is I believe the next book's polyamorous, so I think it's 3 people, and I think the book after that is also polyamorous, so y'all know I'm here for that. Next, I read The Four Leaf by Lee Jacquot. This is a not really dark romance, but I read it for the Dark Romance Readathon. This is another novella on KU, of course. Obviously, we're in the KU check-in. So this is a novella with some great primal play. I really enjoyed this book. This also sealed the deal on the one I currently have checked out, but like I need to read it ASAP. This was so fun. So I read it for the Dark Romance Readathon because I would call it like taboo light, because like primal play is kind of taboo. Like, it's kind of like a, you know, we don't talk about that kink. And that's okay. Like, if you are new here and you don't know what primal play is, that is where you get chased and tackled by someone, basically. And I've read 2 primal play books in the month of April and loved them, so apparently I just need to read more of that in my life. Would I run? I would never run in real life, so let's be very honest here. That would never happen. So this is a best friends to lovers story. So they were childhood best friends. He ends up going away for work stuff. He's like a rugby player, and her sister help run this hotel that their parents bought together. And they both have had crushes on each other forever, but not known that the other one had a crush. And they finally figure it out and communicate and end up boning all around town in the hotel, and lots of primal play. It worked really, really well for me. I don't normally love best friends or childhood friends to lovers, because I just want to be like, communicate, talk to each other, like figure this out. But this kind of worked because he was not around a lot, so it would have been hard for her to really like communicate this with him, in my opinion, in a fashion that would feel comfortable and to me, which would be face to face. But yeah, so we followed this and it worked out really, really well. I really liked it. It was very cute, and I do want to go back and read the first book in this series, which is the Holy Nights series by this author. They're just like quick, smutty novellas, I think, and they take place in this hotel. So they sound really fun to me, but this one was a big surprise. I gave it a 4-star. I've told a bunch of people to read it because, again, I just thought it was really fun at the end of the day, and a really well done friends to lovers for somebody who doesn't love friends to lovers. And the last book I read is Hot Wife by Kate Blackthorne. This is a taboo romance that follows a girl named Dorothea, or Dot, and she is told that she can sleep with anyone she wants as long as they don't know her real name or have any association with her husband or her like in real life. So she has a burner phone in which she's allowed to go hot wife around. And it's just not been very fulfilling for her because her husband doesn't want to touch her anymore because of something that happened. He's just been really stuck in that. He's a surgeon. It's a whole thing. And then she ends up hooking up with someone that breaks all the rules. And it's very taboo. It was a very quick read. It was very fun in a weird way. And I'm still like, I gave it a 3.5. It might be a 4. I'm not really sure on this one. It's one of those books that's going to be hard to rec and hard to talk about because of the way it handles a taboo topic. I really loved how it wrapped up and what the resolution was. But it was just really interesting to see how it all worked out and what actually was going on, because there were some things happening behind her back that she didn't know about. And when that all is revealed, obviously we have some shifts and changes in the relationships on page, but it does end in a why choose sort of situation, which I really appreciated and found very interesting. So yeah, it was definitely one of the most interesting ones that I read for this video. In the last 2.5 months or whatever on KU. All right, y'all, those are all the books I currently have checked out from Kindle Unlimited, as well as have recently read from Kindle Unlimited. Let me know the last book you read on KU and 5-starred, or leave me a ring emoji of your choice, because the hot wife cover has that ring in her mouth. If you need links to any of these books, they're all linked down below, as well as links to me, my friend, anywhere on the internet, and I will talk to y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions. We'll get